The New England Patriots just got some promising news. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron on the Daily Patriots content. Don't miss out. Subscribe, notification bell, and hit the like button. We're journeying into August. Don't miss out before the season. Daily content right here. And obviously, we're going to dog on Aaron Rodgers a little bit today. So what is there not to like, ladies and gentlemen? Hit the like button again. So that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Looking at the Steelers, one of the first games of the year for the Patriots. In my opinion, it's a toss-up game. How is Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, the new look facelift Steelers, Botox Steelers, because they got so many old people on that team, how are they going to look? Now, the promising news up front in the trenches for the New England Patriots is Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier is going in on his second year, his sophomore year in the NFL. Last year, not bad, getting a score of about a 76 on the Pro Football Focus, but as you can tell, his pass blocking not ideal. Kind of like Bradbury, I would tell you, that was one of his big issues. His run blocking was definitely their best part of their game, and I feel like a lot of times that's what it is like in the interior offensive line, specifically with center. But regardless, Zach Frazier, his biggest issue right now in training camp has been snaps, has been blocking, and it has not been good. Mike Tomlin has came out and said something about it, as well as other offensive coaches, and even Zach Frazier himself. So again, we look at this and say to ourselves, listen, if they're having trouble on the offensive line, it only is good news for this defensive front, especially this interior defensive line of Barmore as well as Milton, that can absolutely wreak havoc on issues like this. So again, if there's a poor connection between Frazier and Rodgers, as well, Will Howard, the former Ohio State national champion quarterback who transferred from Kansas State, he is on the Steelers as well. If that is the case, they're having all these issues. Obviously, Will Howard's not going to play unless we have Achilles 2.0. And you see Aaron, I'm not saying this would be funny, never wishing an injury on anyone. But if he runs out with the flag and then like a play in, he does that, it'd be weird. It'd be really weird. But anyways, this issue just not looking good for the Steelers, but promising for the Patriots. If they're having issues on the offensive line, that is only good for the Patriots, and the pressure and the aggressiveness they are going to show getting upfield, what Mike Vrabel wants to do. So that is good. On other fronts for the Steelers, listen, we got to remember Najee Harris gone, George Pickens also gone. Two high productive players on that team. I would say Russell Wilson, but again, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, I don't think were huge added values to that team. And then specifically, we look at the run game. So the run game, you're losing Najee Harris. He's gone. And he's going over to the Chargers on a one-year deal, I believe $5.4 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that over there in fantasy is going to be very interesting because they got Omari and Hampton from, was it UNC? They drafted him. A lot of people thought, and this is kind of crazy in my mind, that he was a better running back than Ashton Genty, or could be, or in other drafts could be the top guy. But it'll be interesting under Jim Harbaugh in his aggressive run game, who's going to be getting a bulk of the carries, Harris or Hampton. But that's beside the point. Listen, I could do a whole fantasy podcast. That'd be a ton of fun. But we go to the run game, and we look at Jaylen Warren. And if you look at his stats last year, nothing crazy. I think a lot of people think that he can step in and be the starter for the Steelers. I don't know if I necessarily see it. He does well catching it out of the backfield. But I think Caleb Johnson has an opportunity to earn a decent amount of carries as well. But the run game in general is up in the air. What's going on here? Who's going to get a bulk of the carries? And then add on top of that offensive line issues as well. There was an injury, left tackle. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Jones. It starts with a B. It's slipping from me. But anyways, he was injured just the other day. So issues up front. How's that going to look? Run game, question mark right there. And then on top of that, you look at your receiving core. Tight ends, pretty solid for the Steelers. But we look at wide receivers. Robert Woods, who's very old for a wide receiver. I believe he's 34. Not say he can't still play. Aaron Rodgers, again, in my opinion, one of the best to ever do it. He's going to bring the best out of his wide receivers, at least he should, even in his old age. But then you have DK Metcalf coming over on a nice little contract. So the question becomes, there's a lot of new moving pieces. How are these all going to work together? And if we look at what happened with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers in that experiment, it didn't turn out well. And I would tell you, I am led to believe the same with the Steelers. And all of this to say, all these different aspects, when we say question mark on the offensive line, how is that going to look? And offensive line is somewhere the Steelers typically very much pride themselves in. Question marks on that front. Then we look at a lot of turnover, a lot of question marks there. How is everyone going to do in the passing game with Rodgers as well as the new wide receivers? And then we look at the run game, some young players, but are they going to be good enough in this Steelers offense? So a lot of question marks as well in a very, very tough division for them. So I think these are all favorable, very favorable and promising for the New England Patriots because there's just so many different variables, so many different factors. And with the Patriots making a lot of big time moves, I think this defensive line is going to wreak havoc on the offensive line. I think they are going to stuff the run game. And I truly believe you can see a Patriots victory against the Steelers. So tell me what you think. Do you think maybe it's a little ambitious to come out and say that right now? But the more I look into it, the more you kind of break things down, I see the Patriots having a good chance of beating the Steelers. So comment below. Tell me what you think. Would love to hear from you. Love to hear from you. Next up, we're jumping in Christian Wilkins again. I just want to reiterate this because I think it needs to be said. I think the Patriots need to pass on Wilkins. And the reason I say that is because I think there is more underlying things. And as things have came out from the Raiders organization on the guaranteed money, they ended up saving $35.4 million on the guaranteed money they were owed to Wilkins when they signed him, because again, they signed him to a crazy contract with a lot of guaranteed money. They still let him walk with the other guaranteed money, which I believe, I could be wrong, comment below, was probably, after taking that off, probably in the $50 million range. It might have been 52 because I want to say 87 million was guaranteed, which is bonkers that you let him walk. Now, the big issue was his pinky toe and that bone that was broke in between that and the base of the foot and all those different things. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm a PE teacher, but the base of the foot, pinky toe, a lot of issues. But the biggest issue was the Raiders had issues of how he was doing his recovery and how he was taking, it didn't seem he was taking it serious, and he was doing it his own way. And so that's how the Raiders were able to get out of some of this guaranteed money, which was very interesting. So then what brings into question is his attitude, his character, all these different things. So it just seems, again, look into it. That's fine. I get that. But I think it's something that the Patriots should most likely pass on. So we will see. Again, tell me what you think. Comment below. Hit the subscribe button. Do not miss out. We will talk later. Peace.